In this video, I am going to share a limited edition eyeshadow palette by Chantecaille. It is the Giraffe Eye Quartet, my first Chantecaille eyeshadows that I have ever used. And if you would like to see how I created this look using this limited edition palette, just keep watching. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ange, where I like to share all things beauty and lifestyle aimed at the more mature woman. My channel's taken a little bit of a turn of late as I am going through treatment for breast cancer, but I am primarily just a lover of makeup. Eyeshadows are my thing and I have a weakness for them. I do lots of eyeshadow tutorials aimed at the more mature woman with downturned and hooded eyes. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe button down below. If you do find the content of this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, as it will let me know that you like this sort of content. Now, I have been accumulating some makeup since prior to Christmas when my treatment started, and I haven't had a chance to play with it a lot due to the fact that I've been feeling so under the weather, and I have a pile of makeup that I hope to get through over the next few weeks. Now, it's been 6 weeks since I filmed my last video. Now, that's not apparent when I am uploading my videos. Last time I did film, I pre-recorded 4 videos, and I'm so pleased I did, because I have been so unwell that I haven't worn any makeup. I haven't wanted to play with makeup, let alone go to the effort of setting up all my filming gear to film. I'm really struggling at the moment, and today I really decided to make an effort because I've been feeling so awful and feeling really sorry for myself and not being in a good space as far as how I feel about myself. So I thought, because I'm at the end, it's probably day 10 after my last chemo treatment, and thank goodness it was my last big double dose, so hopefully I'm not going to feel that dreadful going forward. One of the palettes that I had purchased when it first came out, and I got mine from Beautylish, is my first eyeshadow palette from Chantecaille. Now, this is limited edition, and it is the Giraffe Eye Quartet. It retailed for $74 US, and as I said, I got mine from Beautylish. It's very hard to show on camera because of the reflective packaging. Absolutely love these types of shades. That is why I thought I'd try it. I'd never tried Chantecaille before, so I was interested in knowing what the quality was like. Was it worth the luxury price tag? They do have a very good ethos with their company as far as donating proceeds from the sale of their products to endangered animal species, which is, I just commend them for that. So if you are able to afford this sort of brand, it has a feel-good factor to it, as well as the luxury product that you are getting. So they're the sort of shades that I really like, and let's get into this eye look. This beautiful palette has 4 flattering earth-toned neutrals that mix and match to create rich, defined eye looks. You have a matte soft brown, a white chrome pearl, a bronzy brown shimmer, and a pewter chrome pearl. Giraffes across Africa are quietly vanishing. Chantecaille are proud to help give them a voice and a future with Giraffe Conservation Foundation. I haven't used this eye primer for a wee while, so it's the Anastasia eye primer that I am going to use today. Just, you do not need much at all. A little goes a very long way. And I'll just add that to my eyelids. Now I've finally near the end of my eyelashes, don't have very many left. Okay, so that's just a light layer of the Anastasia eyeshadow base. It's really hard to film or photograph because of all the mirrored casing. I'll go in with my good old faithful Morphe M504 with the medium shade. I've never had Chantecaille shadows before, so I'm just going to very lightly tap that in, tap my brush, and I will just start by adding that to the outer corner of my eye. And blending. Adding a little bit more, and this time going in the transition area. Now I have a shadow here. I've got quite hooded eyes, which is really exacerbated with the fact that I'm nearly out of my eyelashes as well. So I'm going to try and take some cues from my anatomy. Now I have this shadow here, which everyone will have because it's the makeup of our individual bodies. And this shadow here is the hollow of my orbital bone in my skull. So I'm going to take a cue from that shadow and add that medium shade across that shape. My natural crease is way down here on my lid, but I'm wanting to make it appear that I have, that my crease is higher up by utilizing the shadow and using the eyeshadow to create that crease dimension on my eye. It's a really nice neutral brown, probably a shade very similar in the Natasha Denona Glam palette, but the other brown in here is quite warm, I feel, or has warmish tones to it. So that's just lightly adding that shade. Okay, I'm going to take my Ariel A19 brush and I'm going to take the darker brown in the palette and I'm just going to stamp that shade along my lash line on the top. And the bottom. It's quite a reddy brown. I'm just going to pick the edge of my eye up, which I like to do, and I'm just going to stamp that following the lower lash line. Now, I used to keep all my menopause symptoms at bay with dietary changes before chemo, but now I am just a big, like an ice ball melting, to be fair, and I've never ever experienced it before, so it's been interesting times. My Patrick Tar Precision Gel eyeliner in deep bronze, and we are at the bottom of that, so I'm just going to run that with what's left along my lash line on the bottom. And just smudge that in with that eyeshadow in the brush. Just to try and look like I've got a wee bit of a lash line. Okay, using my Makeup Geek Outer V brush, and I'm so sad that Makeup Geek have finishing trading. Makeup Geek was my first foray into makeup. I have still got my massive singles palette, which is made up primarily of Makeup Geek shadows, and I loved them. They were affordable and were a wonderful way to play with makeup in the beginning. So using the Outer V brush and that darker shade, I am just filling in the outer corner of my eye. Now, I do eyeshadow tutorials with quite dramatic eye looks when I do my eyeshadow tutorials, and that is because I love playing with makeup. And it's my chance to play with makeup and be more dramatic. My day-to-day, although not of late, makeup looks really are just these neutral eyeshadow looks that you can take anywhere, whether you're going to be casually going out somewhere or even going out somewhere special. These are the sorts of looks that are my go-to. So just deepening up that outer third of the eye, basically following the shape that we created with that flat brush earlier and just blending it inwards and just adding a little bit at a time. Did I need this palette? No. I've probably got these colours umpteen times over in my makeup collection, but I don't have any Chantecaille shadows, so I did want to try, and I was feeling a wee bit down in the dumps when I ordered it, so I've been sitting on it for a little while. I've got quite a few bits and pieces of makeup that I have been accumulating since prior to Christmas that I haven't been using, and so I do have some videos coming with stuff that's not new anymore. but I haven't tried and I do want to share with you, so they're coming. I just have to pick days where I feel in the mood to play with makeup. Beautiful shades. Actually, the shades in this actually really remind me of my Cocoa Mirage by Tom Ford, and I have the original. But very much those tones. I'm just going to add some to the outer third in the bottom, just to thicken up that little outer corner. Okay, now I do want to go with this beautiful taupe shade here, and yes, I am going to use my Pat McGrath pen. I have learnt that this really makes a difference, so let's add that to the inner portion of my eyelid. This is definitely going to be a repurchase for me. I think over this year, something that I am going to curate with not buying all the new and fancy is my go-to Holy Grail products, and it's going to really emphasize what I love using. Oh, what a gorgeous colour. Once again, I think you could recreate this shade from the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Might not be identical, but you would get a very similar shade from that. Very soft. I would have to definitely, if I had to compare it to an eyeshadow formula that I have, I would compare it to Natasha Denona. Very creamy, very pigmented, gorgeous, gorgeous shade. I'm going to take a little brush, another aerial brush, the A18, and take the white shade here, and I'm just going to pop that in the inner corner. Gorgeous. Let's take a dark brown pencil. Dark brown or black? It's going to have to be dark brown. Dark brown pencil, and I'm going to use the Wrinkle Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Definer, and I'm just going to run that in my waterline and smudge it in what's left of my lash line, just to try and define the upper lash line, upper lid. Okay, I'll just pop off camera and pop some false lashes on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so lashes are added, and that is the finished look using the Chantecaille Giraffe Eye Quartet, which is limited edition. I purchased mine from Beautylish, but I will leave links down below as to where else you may be able to still source this palette. I love these tones. These are eyeshadows that are right up my alley and my comfort zone. It has been very nice to apply some makeup today, and this is a really pretty look. I am very impressed with the quality of these shadows. As I said, the closest that I could say they remind me of in quality and pigmentation is Natasha Denona eyeshadows. When it comes to price, this was $74 US for 4 tiny little shades, and you can pick up the Natasha Denona Glam Midi palette with 15 shades. Yep, 15 shades for $65 US. So price comparison, it is definitely luxury in its price. It's really hard with the mirrored backing, but I do think you would get a similar look with the Natasha Denona Glam palette. It's my first Chantecaille palette. I'm not mad at it. It's gorgeous. You don't need to spend this much money for a beautiful palette, but if you want something luxury, you want something from Chantecaille, I do think this is a very beautiful eyeshadow palette. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I do hope you enjoyed that tutorial. It's more in my wheelhouse of what I actually do like wearing on a daily basis. If you did enjoy that, please give the video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd love to see you back, and I hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See you later, guys. Bye.